Okay, so we're back. This is Rudy from the Okie Homies, and on this episode, I'm going to teach you how to make this an air pressure tester for your PEX plumbing. So, parts you're going to need one half inch shark bite male fitting and one half inch shark bite female fitting. You're going to need two half inch to 1/4 inch brass bushings, one half inch ball valve, 1/4 inch pressure gauge, and 1/4 inch air inlet tubing for the air compressor, and some Teflon tape and some pipe dope. It's pretty easy to make, it's inexpensive, it's going to save you a whole lot of trouble down the road. So let's just get into this. You're going to take your ball valve, and you can get one with a lever like that. It doesn't matter. Just something you can shut off. You're going to take your male um, shark bite fitting and thread it in there. I'm just loosely fitting all this just to make sure all the threads are good and things of that nature. Because sometimes you get threads that aren't the greatest and something's in the way. So I always like to loosely fit them. Full disclosure, I initially did this and just used Teflon tape. Ended up having to use the pipe dope and Teflon tape on these, but not a big deal. You should keep that stuff around anyway if you're going to do any sort of plumbing, any sort of, if you have propane or natural gas, if you're going to try to do that stuff yourself, have that around. It never seems to never go bad. I've had my little jar for probably like 10 years now, but anyway, assemble all your parts, snug them up together. So this is going to be the shutoff side, and then this is going to be your regulator side. I'll try to link to all of this as much as I can in the description and all the parts and whatnot. Probably the most expensive of this whole thing is this regulator. I don't know why necessarily, because there's really not much to it. And it's not exactly like the highest quality of regulators that I've ever seen, but is what it is. It's still cheaper than paying a plumber to come out. Again, just kind of loosely test fitting all of this stuff and make sure it works. And make sure there's nothing on the threads that screws up, because if you cross thread this, that's bad. Not only is it cross threaded, but if there's some gunk in the way, you're not going to get the right kind of seal you need. And we're going to pressurize this with air. Um, if air can get out, then water can get out, is kind of the theme of this whole deal. But that's your female shark bite, and you're going to thread your pressure regulator into that female side. It's pretty easy to do. It's pretty self-explanatory. You really can't screw it up too bad. But I guess where there's a will, there's a way. Um, Pressure testing is something that you have to do, because if you go closing up all of the walls and then there's a leak, well, that's bad. And also, if you're doing this and you have to have an inspector come out, they're going to make you do this, and then they're going to double check before they sign off on your plumbing being accurate and being good to go. So there they are assembled. Hey, PSI. You probably don't need anything over 100 PSI. And there we are. We have them put together. That actually has the pipe dope on it and everything. First thing you want to do is make sure that your PEX, you want to take your hot side and your cold side, and you want to connect those together. Just like here, I connected it where the sink's going to be. You want an endless loop, kind of like an electrical circuit. That way the air just stays in there. Then doesn't matter necessarily where you go. This is where my hot water tank's going to be, and that's what I used for my inlet side, and then my exit side, the pressure side. Use whatever you want to use. You could be up under the sink. I just didn't want to have to kneel down, because who the hell wants to have to kneel down, right? So once you have those connected, you take your air compressor, hook up your air compressor hose. Make sure it's off first and foremost if your line's already pressurized. And so make sure your ball valve is in the off position, because it will just energize instantly. So here I am just allowing some air in. You can see it just drops instantly. Turns out I had some fittings that I hadn't crimped off completely. So imagine if I had sealed the wall up. Again, rank amateur doing this, but we'll make progress. So I fixed everything, put some more air back into it. Had a few more leaks, full disclosure. So when you're looking for leaks, use the old soapy water in a spray bottle trick, and spray it on all of the little valves if you can't find it in all of your fittings. And when it bubbles up, you'll know exactly where the leak is. But had to do that a few times, mainly on the outside faucets. That really apparently wasn't sealed, and the shower head kind of gave me quite a bit of trouble, but I got those all sealed off, ran it up to 70 psi, and that 70 psi held for, man, 3 days. I just left it in there just to admire it. And then to get this off, use a specialized tool, the shark bite removal tool. I'll link to it. Boom, right off. Same thing on the other side. Easy enough. That's a pressure test. Thanks for watching, guys. You're working on something.